Hi, everybody. We are the Babes of Bourbon. I am Megan Rudder.
I am Eric Rudder.
We are very excited today to...
we are drinking some good stuff. Woodford Reserve. Very fine, rare bourbon. It's a tongue twister us a few times.
It is literally so hard to remember what order all of those adjectives are in. We've filmed Eric doing a little intro to this bottle earlier this week on our Instagram. And we had recorded so many times because we kept saying the name wrong. And I'd be like, no, it's this. And then I'd look at the bottle and be like, ah! So that was fun.
Yes. And thank you to everybody who voted on Instagram and Facebook.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Yeah. I won. And that's why we get to drink this bourbon today.
And do a great review.
Instead of save it for a special occasion like some people
We're just going to call this a special occasion, right?
Yes. I think the rest of the bottle will be for special occasions and with friends and family. So
yes, absolutely. We're super excited about this because it is the 15th Masters collection from Woodford Reserve, and this is a very special bottle.
It does have number 16 on there. We can't figure out why.
But it says number 16, but it is the 15th.
Yes.
I read the website, guys. Did my research. But tell them how you found it. It was so exciting.
Okay, so I was on Facebook and just saw a little post during one of my breaks at lunch, and I'm like, or right before lunch, and I was like, ooh, I'm going to have to go out on lunch and hope that they still have this bottle. Mm-hmm. Lucky for me, they still did. And I got to the liquor store and was very, very worried because I saw the person right in line before me with the bottle. And I thought it was all gone.
Heartbreaking devastation.
It was behind the counter, so I didn't see any others. So
they happen to have one more.
Yes.
So we got the last one, I think.
Luckily.
Which is pretty awesome because it was about an hour after they posted.
Yes.
We think that they had to have gotten like a case in them.
Yeah, probably like 6 bottles.
Yeah.
So
that was really lucky.
Yeah.
Should we start?
Yeah, let's go into the sipping and then we can probably go into some of the history.
Yeah, we're definitely going to go through the history of this. This is awesome, too, because you guys know, if you've watched the videos, I love going through the history and just seeing what everything is about. And it has a little booklet that comes with the bottle where it goes through the aromas and the flavor and about the bottle itself and all that good stuff. Wow. Jinx, you owe me a bourbon. Wow, that nose is absolutely delicious.
Yes.
You know what this reminds me of? I mean, it has like the normal, the caramel, tons of oak, but it like reminds me of when you're in a bakery and they have like a pastry with like that delicious, like nutty, spicy, like a pecan roll or something coming out. And you get that where it's the caramely and the melted butter and brown sugar.
Yes, I get that. It is probably one of the best smelling bourbons ever
that we've had. And we've sampled a ton of bourbon this year, and this is probably, I don't know, dare I say the best, the best notes
on our little tasting scoring. I'm going to give this. I'm just going to spoil it. 2 out of 2 on the nose. It is.
I am too.
I get oak. I get caramel. I would say I get a little vanilla in there. Sure.
Yeah. And Woodford does definitely have a sweeter scent and taste than a lot of other bourbons, which we enjoy quite a bit.
Yes.
Woodford is definitely one of our top distilleries.
We love it. It got us into drinking bourbon together.
It did.
I bought a little bottle of Woodford Double Doped, and
you bought. That's not how it happened, guys.
That's how I remember.
No. I got a bottle for my friend Zanita, and that was her favorite bottle because it was for a special occasion. And Eric saw me buying it, and he had never sampled it. He's like, "Wait, you're giving that away? This isn't for us. Is that for me?" So then we went, and I think I got you a bottle for Christmas, and we bought it together. So shout out to Zanita for that one. But man, this is good. This smells just absolutely amazing. Should we give it a little taste?
Yes, absolutely.
Wow.
Tastes almost as good as it smells. I mean, maybe as good. I don't know yet.
I know what you're saying. This tastes absolutely incredible. Yes. The nose, though, is like so amazing. It tastes really good.
You definitely get a little oak in there. I mean, it had a good portion of this has been aged 17 years.
And you said the research you did, most of the bourbon that's in here, because it's a blend, is between 11 and 17.
17 years, yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's most. I couldn't figure that out. Okay. But at least a portion of this is 17 years old.
The notes, not the notes, excuse me, guys. The taste that I'm getting from this, I'm for sure getting caramel, but it's like that burnt caramel and tons of oak, because if you guys visualize about bourbon being in an oak barrel through the winter and summer months, the liquid inside is literally expanding and contracting into the layers of the barrel itself. And if they ever like cut it open, which if you go to some distilleries, they have that to show, you can see the lines where the bourbon travels throughout the wood.
Yeah.
And once you have something that's aged for 17 years and has gone through that process of 17 cycles of the seasons, it just puts something so amazing into the flavors.
Yes.
This is fantastic.
It is unbelievably delicious.
Now for the history, just a little bit. And then we can get into the finish and availability. Yeah. So the master distiller of Woodford Reserve is Chris Morris, and his assistant master distiller is Elizabeth McCall, which to me is pretty cool. I already love Woodford, and to know that there's an up-and-coming female assistant master distiller who's making her way in the bourbon industry is pretty awesome. They bottled this together, this being the 15th master collection from Woodford. In the past, they were crafting the master collection to be a little bit more of a nod to the past. Woodford Distillery is sitting on land where a distillery started in 1812. So it's been around, obviously, for almost, that's 200 years. No, that's over 200 years, isn't it?
208.
208. Oh my gosh. Where is the time gone? So it's been around for over 200 years. So lots of history within this. And that's why it gets its name. Very fine, rare bourbon. Yep. Because that's how they used to do the advertisements.
Paying a little homage to the old advertising. They were marketing strongly back then, too.
Oh, yeah. What should we do? It's a rare bourbon. Nay. A fine rare. No. Very fine rare bourbon. I just imagine they were sitting there getting just absolutely trashed off where they're coming up with the name. Like, that's the one. That's just my theory, guys. But, so McCall and Morris, Chris Morris, the master distiller, he started at Woodford as the master distiller in 2003. So the barrels that were aged for 17 years, those were his first batch. And McCall and Morris have been specifically saving it for something really special.
Yep.
Being this bottle. And they said that this is kind of the turning point for the master collection, where in the past, they were giving more a nod and homage to the past, and now they're going to be a little bit more innovative and do things a little bit more special for the future.
Yeah. And anytime you have like a 15 plus year bourbon that is starting with that master distiller, and he's been, or she has been overseeing it the whole time, more than likely you're going to get a very, very special product.
Yeah.
And I would say this is a very special
It is a very
product.
special product. What do you think of the finish?
Taste, nose, unbelievably good. There is definitely a good finish here. If there's anything to complain, which I don't think there is, the finish is a little bit shorter. It tastes really good, but it is a little shorter.
And just so you guys know, for our own personal bias, we do prefer a long finish, but that's just personal preference. This finish is still really good. Do you get anything outside of like the caramel and the vanilla?
I maybe get like a little fruity, like slightly sweet finish. That could be the caramel, but it tastes like a little.
I get what you're saying. There's something so delicious in this flavor, and I can't put my finger on exactly what it is.
Yeah, it's no fruit that I can like say 100% sure it's like apple or it's raisins or it's
plums, it's this, it's that.
But it's a nice sweet.
I get what you're saying. There's something like crisp at the end of this.
Yes.
But man, and for availability and pricing.
It's $130. And it is a master collection. So it is going to be limited availability.
Yep.
But what I've been seeing on like Facebook, and people are getting these bottles, so it's not like the Pappy or the Buffalo Trace Antique Collection or some of the old Fitzgerald, more hard to find bottles. You are able to find it if you're going out and hunting enough. So it is available. Which
that kind of goes along with Woodford Reserve anyways, because you'll find just like the straight Woodford Reserve or the double oak everywhere.
Yep, correct.
Which is cool.
And along with price, so when it gets to age to 17, 11 year, you're losing so much of the original product to what they call the angel share.
The angel's share?
Yes.
I've never heard that. That is so fun. The angels are just getting trashed.
Yes. But it's really evaporation. Throughout the seasons, they lose part of the bottle or part of the barrel to evaporation each year. Yeah. So
I didn't think about. If you go to Buffalo Trace, they did a super cool. We should have taken a picture of it. Maybe we did. But it was a visual. They had like barrels and they had plastic on one side you could see, and they showed this is a bottle or a barrel that's aged 5 years versus 18 years and the difference between it.
I forget the exact percentage, but a quick Google search, you can find out. I want to say it's like 3 to 7% a year. So if you're thinking over 17 years, you're losing
most of the barrel, honestly.
Yeah. 60% of the barrel. So that while this is expensive, it is worth it. Yes.
Honestly, like we've had the pleasure of tasting tons of new bourbon this year. I probably have tasted at least 30 new bourbons, and I don't think that's an exaggeration. And this is for sure in the top 5, if not the top. I'd have to do a side-by-side blind comparison.
For anything we filmed on this channel, it is number 1.
Absolutely number 1. It is amazing. I would say even though it's $130, what you say this all the time, the price of bourbon if you compare it to buying beer.
Or wine. Yeah.
You go.
Yeah. So if you look at like buying craft beer, and they charge $16 for a 4-pack, or even non-craft beer, say like Wisconsin Spotted Cow. It's about $2 a beer. Now this is a $130 bottle. So if you divide that between, you get about 16 to 17 1.5 ounce pours. So it is about $8 a drink. So yes, it is an expensive, but when you're comparing it to beer and some wines, it's a little more, but it comes out to be about the same price. And if you're looking at like the $50 to $60 bottles, it's about it. Yeah. Apples to apples.
It really is like this, because people sometimes are deterred from getting bourbon because they're like, that's a $60 bottle. If you think about if you're really doing like a 1.5 ounce pour for a serving, which you drink a lot of bourbon, you may have a little more, but whatever. It is very cost effective, actually. So don't let it deter you.
Yeah. Especially if you find like a good everyday drinker. Yeah. Absolutely. Yes.
Absolutely. I agree.
It's probably cheaper than drinking beer at that point.
Yeah, it really is. But what were we going to say?
We need to do our scoring still.
Oh, and we need to read, guys.
Yes.
We need to read what the tasting notes from our booklets say. What are we doing? All right. They say the aroma instead of the nose. So fancy. All right. It says layers of rich oak, sweet, aromatic notes, caramel, brown sugar, chocolate. I think chocolate was that miscellaneous ingredient.
Mm-hmm.
Vanilla. They merge into a cured tobacco character brightened with apple fruit. There's that fruit we were talking about, you guys.
Is apple fruit different than regular apples?
I don't think so. I don't know if you Sometimes it cracks me up the way that they write the descriptions.
Yes. It's marketing.
It totally is. They have a way with words. They're like, fruit? No. Apples? No. Apple fruit? There we go. That's the one. All right, for taste. Very old oak notes. It's aged 17 years.
Mm-hmm.
Sweetened with honey. Balanced by a touch of citrus and apple peel and a touch of clove spice. The finish says long and dry clove spice. Now that's interesting because personally, I don't find this as a very spicy bourbon, but that may be because I'm comparing it in my head to a rye, which is technically not a bourbon.
Yep, a rye or a high rye bourbon.
Yeah.
It's definitely going to be more spicy. Those are going to be more spicy than this. This I get the sweet, baking deliciousness.
Yeah.
Like a fresh pecan pie banana bread.
Yeah.
Somewhere in between the two.
And that's probably, and we put chocolate chips on our banana bread. So it definitely has those scents coming through, guys. I mean, this is absolutely fantastic. I think Morris and McCall, if this is the stuff that they're putting out together, make an amazing team. And I cannot wait to see what they continue to do.
Mm-hmm.
I already had this on my list of top distilleries.
And now it's up.
I know. See, I love buffaloes though. Yes. So that's one of the, Eric does. Guys, we got tattoos of buffaloes. Yes. I don't know if you can really see on camera.
But
mine's just the head. It's hard to
maybe you can throw them up on Instagram.
Yeah.
And you can see them.
And this has nothing to do with Buffalo Trace. This is just...
Yeah. Buffalo Trace has made it better because we enjoyed it on our honeymoons. But
that's been his favorite animal forever.
I enjoy buffaloes, yeah.
And I was like, ooh, if my baby's getting a buffalo, I'll get one too. So that's how that came to be. But honestly, I am so excited for when COVID is over and
we can
the restrictions are lifted.
Visit and taste all the distilleries.
Yeah. I cannot wait to go back to Kentucky, go to Woodford, do a tour, do some sampling, hit up Heaven Hill.
Wild Turkey.
Four Roses. Buffalo Trace again, of course.
Nah, it'll be an expensive trip.
We're going to be broke.
So, do we need to get to the scoring?
Oh, I keep cutting you off. My apologies. Yes. So, again, this is out of 10 for the final.
2 points for the nose.
2 points for the nose.
This gets all 2 points. So 3 points max for tasting.
I would give it a 2.8, which for me, super high score. That 0.2. It's kind of like when you're doing a work eval where they're like, you can't be perfect. There's always room to improve. I think there's always that room for improvement, but it's absolutely delicious.
I give this one 2.75. Again, same reasons. We're way too early in our bourbon drinking experience to give this a 3. Maybe that's just being me, but...
But this is the highest I've ever given anything for tasting.
Unbelievably delicious.
Absolutely is. Finish?
Out of 2 points again, just quickly.
I would give it a 1.5 personally because I think the finish is delicious. But I like finishes to be a little bit more with the oily mouthfeel and a little bit longer. But that's just my personal preference.
I am giving it a 1.5 too. I just wish it was just slightly longer. I think a lot of people like that little bit longer finish. That it's one of the, in my opinion, underrated parts of bourbon drinking where you just sit there for a minute or two and still get that nice finish. That
taste in the finish. Now for me, I'm going to give for availability and price a 1.5 because I do think that $130 for a Master's Collection bottle is priced correctly. I think that this is what I expect out of $130. And for availability, it's not like you said, it's not Pappy or Old Fitzgerald or some of the Michter's Rise and things where you literally can't find these things. We've been seeing people able to get this in the liquor stores. But again, it's $130 in a master's collection, so it's not going to get a 3. It's not going to be around all the time. So 1.5 for me.
I give it a 2. Very similar reasons, but this is probably my favorite bourbon of 2020 that I've sampled, and I absolutely love it.
That's high praise, guys. We have, for comparison, we have been able to try, Rock Hill Farms. We tried Pappy 12-year. We tried...
Michter's Barrel Strength Rye.
Yeah, which isn't technically a bourbon, but we're just pairing it with the whiskeys.
Yes, and...
Lots of E.H. Taylors, which are all fantastic.
Yes. And we tried it Old Fitzgerald, too. I think it was the 13-year. And it was delicious.
Yeah, we've had some whistle picks of, the 15-year and all that.
Yeah.
So we've tried a lot of different things. This is absolutely the front runner. One of the front runners, again. I would want to do a blind.
Yes.
Just to know for sure.
But I'm fairly sure
this would be the top for us.
At least top 3 for myself.
I will settle on that. Top 3 bourbons of 2020, absolutely.
Yes.
Now, if I did my mental math right, I think I scored this a 7.8. And I think
I gave it a 2, 2.75, 1.5, and a 2.
I think that's 8.25.
I believe you're correct.
So we're just going to do an average, guys. So the Babes of Bourbon average score of this would be an 8 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
Just an unheard of score for us, guys, because we're pretty harsh critics. Yeah, absolutely try this.
The next one that gets an 8 out of 10 will probably be some cheap bottle that's really good.
It's because of the availability. Yeah. We'll just be a 3. But yeah, I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. We have very much enjoyed tasting this. Again, highly recommend it. If you enjoyed the video, give us a like. Subscribe if you haven't.
Follow us on Instagram, of course.
At the Babes of Bourbon.
Yeah, I'll put the tattoos up there.
Yeah.
And probably some other stuff. Fun stuff.
Other fun stuff, so go check it out. I hope you guys have a wonderful night. Hope you're drinking some delicious bourbon, and that's all we got, folks.
Have a great one.
Bye.
Bye.